said he didn't have any conversations. Now he says he didn't have any conversations regarding the campaign, that if he didn't, he didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Look, you know, from the Trump administration standpoint, this is a problem. They're not talking about taxes, about health care reform, about the travel ban. They're having to talk about their attorney general and make sense of this and navigate through a growing body of Republican legislators who say he should recuse himself at a minimum in this election. I mean, the other issue for Trump is that the longer this stays in the news, the issue of at least partially the legitimacy of the he's very sensitive about also stays in the news. Is there, you know, are we going to find in the intelligence committees something more substantial about Russia's intrusion into the election process? Those are things that the Trump administration wants to move past to get to its agenda. This keeps those things right front and center. And then lastly, you know, he doesn't necessarily have had to have talked about the campaign with the ambassador in his office when he met with him. He was the campaign. You know, he was a top foreign policy advisor for Trump. That was public. He was a surrogate at times for the Trump campaign. So what happened in those meetings, which we just don't know about? What are the details of those meetings? Was he signaling in some way a softening position on Russia or not? Was he just being part of the Armed Services Committee and conducting the business of the Senate?
Mike Flynn talked to this same man. Mike Flynn lied to the vice president about it. Mike Flynn was forced to resign. Now we know at the same time, Jeff Sessions spoke with this ambassador. Jeff Sessions said he didn't speak with any Russians. Now Jeff Sessions has been caught apparently not telling the truth about this matter. That seems perfectly clear. What's the diff?
Yeah, well, he clarified in his subsequent statements that I didn't talk to the Russians about the campaign. And you could argue that that's what he may have interpreted the question to have been.
He's a lawyer. He was the Attorney General of the state of Alabama. He's the Attorney General of the United States now. Lawyers know words matter. Lawyers understand what happens when you're under oath. Lawyers know specifics of questions. He's a very smart man.
And this is the argument that's being made. You would have thought that during the hearings he would have said, but understand, as a member of the Senate, and as a member of the Armed Services Committee, I meet with the Russians. I meet with a lot of ambassadors. You would have thought that there would have been a forthcoming statement like that, which would have clarified this matter right from the outset. And so
you know what the elephant in the room is here too. And everybody in Washington knows this. There is no secret that this man, Sergei Kislyak, is a Russian spy. He's widely regarded as a Russian spy. Senior intelligence officials tell us he is not only a longtime Russian spy, he is a top Russian spy recruiter in Washington, D.C., and the whole town knows it.
Yeah. Well,
when you talk to him, it's a thing.
Yeah.
When you talk to him, it's recorded.
I'm not sure that he was attempting to recruit.
Oh, I'm not sure. No, that did not mean that. I'm saying that is his position.
He's a player. That's right. He's a player, and he's clearly somebody that had Russia's interests at stake. And Sessions was speaking with him in the capacity of not just a member of the Armed Services Committee and as a senator, but as a major player in the Trump, a significant player in the Trump campaign. And so you would have thought that there would have been a slightly more forthcoming answer during the hearings. That certainly would have gotten past the problems that we have now. But the question now is whether or not any study by the FBI with Jeff Sessions still running the department that oversees the FBI will be viewed by the public as accurate and entirely forthcoming. And I think that the Republicans are now saying, you know, an increasing number are saying, no, that's not the case. You got to move aside and recuse yourself.
I've just gotten word that Attorney General Sessions will hold a press conference, and that's a quote, 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time, so about 42 minutes from now. Press conference in our parlance in the news media means questions and answers. It could be just a statement. I don't have a way to know yet. I just have this one line. What does he need to do in this statement?
Yeah, I would imagine that from Trump's standpoint, the best thing for him to do is to stay Attorney General, but say, look, you know, there have been questions raised. I've done my best to answer them. I have honestly answered them. But if there's still questions raised, I'm going to step aside for this investigation and allow it to occur without my oversight. So there's absolutely not a scintilla of doubt in the public's mind that this is a legitimate investigation. I would imagine that would probably be, from the Republican standpoint, Davis, Darrell Issa, Susan Collins, that would be the cleanest solution. He may be coming forward to simply expand on what he has said in the past as a way of explaining even further what he meant and what he did say and what he did do, which may just complicate matters.
We'll know for certain shortly. He'll speak in a matter of minutes. John Bussey from Wall Street Journal, thank you. Ahead, the Obama administration was revealed yesterday. There was a huge rush by the Obama administration to preserve intelligence about the Trump team's connections with Russia. The details we're learning about what staffers did and where it leaves things now, coming up.
Let me talk to you about retirement.
401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation.
Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
Would you trust me as your financial advisor?
I would.
I would indeed.
Well, let's be clear here. I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
I have no financial experience at all.
That really is you.
If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. Find a certified financial planner professional who's thoroughly vetted at letsmakeaplan.org. CFP. Work with the highest standard.
The best suit you'll ever own is the one you design yourself. One that fits you perfectly. With personalized details, the finest Italian fabrics, and it's made right here in America. Custom Suits by Joseph Abboud. Exclusively at Men's Warehouse.
Red Lobster's Lobster Fest is back with 9 lobster dishes. Try succulent new lobster mix and match, or see how sweet a lobster lover's dream can be. There's something for everyone, and everyone's invited, so come in soon.
With my moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I was always searching for ways to manage my symptoms. I thought I had it covered. Then I realized managing was all I was doing. When I finally told my doctor, he said Humira was for people like me, who've tried other medications but still experience the symptoms of moderate to severe Crohn's disease. In clinical studies, the majority of patients on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
If you're still just managing your symptoms, ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
We cannot allow our nation to become a sanctuary for extremists.
So what's the plan? And will Congress back the president? Powerful insight on Hannity.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true, Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted Terrain Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade.
See your Southern California Buick and GMC dealers.
The big game. Tip-off is in 30 minutes, and you're already shut out. But you've got Spectrum Internet with fast in-home Wi-Fi. So while your wife and her friends are binge-watching in your man cave, you and your bros can huddle around and catch the game in the she shed. Get the game-changing flexibility of Spectrum.
House were so concerned that the incoming Trump administration would cover up or destroy intelligence related to Russia that they rushed to preserve whatever they could for investigators. That's what a former intelligence official now confirms to Fox News. Our chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, is live with us from Washington. Catherine, our understanding is that rather than making this a high-level classification, they've classified it all as low as they could so that lots of people would know about it.
Well, that was part of the strategy. The outgoing administration was so determined the investigation into Russia's interference in the U.S. election would not die when the Trump team took over, that this intelligence was also widely circulated and archived, according to this former senior intelligence official. And today, the House Speaker said he believed it was part of a broader political strategy.
Democrats are lighting their hair on fire to get you to cover this story. She keeps repeating the same story. I think they're trying to get this coverage going. There's nothing new that we have seen.
And there was also another significant departure in December when the intelligence community released its final report. There was a declassified version that was publicly released. And typically these intelligence assessments are closely held and shared privately with Congress and the executive branch. A former Obama administration appointee told Fox this morning the move was justified.
Some of the information out was because what the Russians had done in our election was so unprecedented, and that the American people have a right to know what the investigation looks like and what evidence we have.
White House has instructed staff to preserve all of their records and any communications that may exist, but there is no allegation at this point that records were destroyed, Shell.
Catherine, it's my understanding that the new call to label the Russian cyber attacks as an act of war.
Well, at a Senate hearing this morning, Senator Jeanne Shaheen, a Democrat, said Russia's interference in the U.S. election, including the email hacking, WikiLeaks, and other propaganda, seemed to cross a line as part of a broader strategy to erode the democratic process.
What kind of message does it send to Vladimir Putin and to the rest of the world if we don't take action in response to Russian hacking in our elections?
We ought to push back, but we ought to also fix our defense, come up with a comprehensive strategy. We can defend this country in cyberspace. We're not doing it, and that's what I think we need to do.
There has been criticism of the sanctions that was imposed by the last administration on Russia. One of our contacts said that they felt a stronger response would have included a major arms shipment to the Ukraine to blunt Russian activity there, Shep.
Catherine Herridge, live in Washington. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ahead, I'll speak with one of Secretary Sessions' longtime Republican colleagues and friends in the United States Senate. I'll ask Senator Lindsey Graham where he stands on this controversy and whether he believes Secretary Sessions should recuse himself from the investigation or more. But first, a big win in the battle against terror, and one of the most dangerous extremist groups is admitting its setback.
I would like to take a moment to address my fellow veterans, because I know there are so many of you who have served your country honorably, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, or 32 years like myself. One of the benefits that we as a country give you as a veteran is your eligibility for a VA loan. Not 80%, but 100% the value of your home. And that's what you can get at New Day USA.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-855-707-5775. It's a new day for veterans who want to lower their monthly payment.
That's me.
The New Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgages, consolidate your credit card debt, get cash, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. New Day will even pay for your appraisal.
That's me.
As a vet, you've earned the right to apply for a home loan that's VA guaranteed. For veterans who want to refinance, that can mean a lot.
That's me.
Call New Day USA now, 1-855-707-5775.
Fun and art class. Come close, come close. I like that.
When your pain reliever stops working, your whole day stops.
Get it.
For minor arthritis pain, only Aleve is FDA approved to work for up to 12 straight hours with just one pill.
Thank you.
Aleve, live whole, not part. At Joseph A. Bank, save up to 80% on all clearance when you take an additional 50% off already reduced prices. Plus, save up to 60% on everything in the store. With all executive suits just $199 and all dress shirts just $39. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
If you've been turned down for a mortgage because of credit or tax return issues, Cash Call Mortgage now has credit and income-solving mortgages with no closing costs. Just call 855-890-CASH and we'll work with you to find a solution to your mortgage issues.
A Fox report now. Another of today's headlines from the Fox News desk. U.S. forces ramping up the fight against al-Qaeda terrorists in Yemen. The Pentagon now reports it launched more than 20 airstrikes overnight, targeting al-Qaeda positions, equipment, and heavy weapons. At least 7 militants they report died, according to a senior defense official. Yemen is home to what's considered to be one of the terrorist group's most dangerous branches. Analysts say militants have been taking advantage of that chaos in the country, and the Pentagon spokesman said the strikes aim to counter that. The U.S. has been fighting an air campaign against al-Qaeda in Yemen for more than a decade now. We're also hearing a drone strike has taken out one of al-Qaeda's highest-ranking leaders. The terror group now confirms CIA drone strike killed the second in command in northern Syria over the weekend. U.S. officials say he was riding in a car at the time. Images on social media show crews inspecting the damage. The news continues right after this.
This is not a video game. This is not a screensaver. This is the destruction of a cancer cell by the body's own immune system, thanks to medicine that didn't exist until now. And today can save your life.
in the best shape of your life. Introducing the brand new South Beach Diet, the safe and effective way to lose weight and learn the way to maintain a healthy weight without hunger or deprivation.
I'm Jennifer and I lost 22 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
Over 11 million people chose the South Beach Diet. It's brand new with fully prepared meals delivered right to your door. Order your South Beach Diet meal plan and get 1 week free.
I'm Asia and I've lost 14 pounds in the first 2 weeks.
The secret? A unique phased approach. First, reset your body for quick weight loss in just 14 days. South Beach Diet is low carb, low sugar, with fats. Lose weight fast.
I love the food, especially the sriracha chicken. I lost 24 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
I'm Betsy and I lost 12 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
Call or click right now and get 1 week free. Lose weight fast with the brand new South Beach Diet.
Call 888-286-PAUL or visit southbeachdiet.com and get 1 week free.
You always pay your insurance on time. Have one little bumper and up go your rates. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Newsflash, nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. And if you do have an accident, our claim centers are available to assist you 24/7. Call 1-888-709-2166 for a free quote today. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
29 minutes before the hour now, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions is to hold a news conference live on Fox News Channel minutes from now. Top lawmakers on Capitol Hill are split over the controversy surrounding him after word that AG Sessions had conversations with Russia's ambassador to the United States while President Trump was on the campaign trail and didn't disclose that to Congress. Mike Emanuel with the news on Capitol Hill. What more did top Intelligence Committee lawmakers say today, Mike?
Well, Shep, several of the top Intelligence Committee members on the House side of the Capitol talked about the Attorney General Sessions Russia controversy. And what we were reminded by a number of these lawmakers today is that meeting with ambassadors is part of their job.
It's a slippery slope. All the countries in the world basically have embassies here. A lot of those countries are adversaries, but we all meet with those. Many senators and congressmen meet with those ambassadors on a regular basis. Reserve judgment until I have a chance to study exactly what he said. Certainly, if he willfully misled the Senate during his confirmation, then yes, he should step down.
Since a lot of the controversies about what Sessions said during Senate confirmation, both Nunes and Schiff, House guys, chose their words carefully, Shep.
What is the latest on Republicans' efforts on overhaul of the Affordable Care Act?
Well, a lot of the key players here on the Capitol Hill are working on repealing and replacing it, and there are certainly some conservative concerns.
And I am perfectly confident that when it's all said and done, we're going to unify because we all, every Republican ran on repealing and replacing, and we're going to keep promises.
We have to ask ourselves, what exactly were we against for the last 6 years if all we're going to do is replace government-mandated and government-centric health care that is a Republican plan as opposed to a Democratic plan?
But if Republicans pass a plan and coverage numbers drop drastically, GOP leaders know they will be blamed for it, so they're taking great care to try to make sure they do it right.
Yep. Mike Emanuel on Capitol Hill. Mike, thank you. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina is one of 3 Republican senators who, along with the Republican representatives, has called for Attorney General Sessions to recuse himself from the Team Trump Russia investigation. Senator Graham is with us now from Washington. Sir, good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
President Trump said then Senator Sessions was truthful in his testimony in his confirmation hearing when he said that he had not had conversations with the Russians. Do you agree that he was truthful?
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that one thing I like most about Jeff Sessions is he's brutally honest. In my mind, here's what I think happened. They were asking him about campaign contacts with the Russians, and he said he had none, and I believe him. The conversation with the Russian ambassador, he claims, was about being a senator, and I believe Jeff Sessions.
Okay, let's play the sound.
And if there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians, and I'm unable to comment.
So that was truthful.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, I had lunch with Ambassador last week, so the fact that a senator talks to an ambassador is different than being a campaign operative talking to the Russians about how to help Trump. So, yeah, I believe Jeff Sessions, but here's what I want to make clear. Lindsey Graham has no knowledge at all of any wrongful activity on the Trump campaign team regarding Russia. I don't know of any evidence to suggest that the Russians collaborated with the Trump campaign in an inappropriate manner. All these news stories are just news stories, but here's what I do believe. If there is an investigation, then Jeff Sessions should step aside because he's part of the campaign team. He should not advise the FBI about what to do, and he shouldn't make a recommendation how to dispose of the investigation if there is one, because he's too close to Trump. And the idea that he should resign over this is ridiculous. I believe he should recuse himself if there is an investigation about the Trump campaign in Russia and nothing more.
Should there be a special prosecutor?
That would be determined by the person who takes over for Jeff. Here's what happened in the Karl Rove situation. Remember the Valerie Plame Karl Rove engagement? So Ashcroft stepped aside because Karl Rove was his political advisor. James Comey was the Deputy Attorney General. He appointed Peter Fitzgerald to look into the Karl Rove matter. I don't know how this movie ends, but for the good of the country, Jeff is a dear friend. What's best, I think, for the country is if there is an investigation regarding the Trump campaign in Russia, Jeff should step aside and let somebody else make the decisions who's not so close to the campaign.
You mentioned FBI Director Comey. Adam Schiff, the Democrat of California, calling for or suggesting that Comey is withholding information regarding this investigation. It's my understanding you just spoke with James Comey. Is that right? What did he say?
Well, number one, Democrats are going crazy across the board. I tuned these guys out. I met with the director of the FBI this afternoon. I will be issuing a statement soon about that meeting. I am confident that Director Comey will disclose to the country the nature of the investigation, if there is one, and that he and his agents have the ability to do this fairly. And if there is an investigation, that somebody other than Jeff Sessions should be advising the FBI. So I have no evidence that the Russians collaborated with the Trump campaign. I have zero evidence that Comey is withholding information. I do know that he talked with the Intelligence Committee for about 3 hours, and I would expect sometime in the future that we'll know more about whether or not there's an actual investigation regarding Trump and Russia.
Sources tell us the FBI is actively investigating now. Did James Comey tell you whether that's true or not?
No, but I expect...
so you didn't ask him?
Well, here's what I did say. For the good of the country, if there is an investigation, we need a process where somebody other than Attorney General Sessions advises you and makes a disposition. If there is nothing there, then Jeff Sessions has nothing to recuse himself from. But for the good of the country, we need a process that people can believe in. And that process, in my view, would have somebody other than Attorney General Sessions advising the FBI and eventually recommending how to dispose of the case. The one thing I don't want to happen is for the FBI director to say there's no case like he did at Hillary Clinton. That's not his job. His job is to investigate and to work with the Department of Justice prosecution team to determine if they should move forward.
Senator, you serve on the Armed Services Committee, obviously. When was the last time you met with the Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak?
Well, when Hillary was over.
So you've never met with him?
No. John McCain and Lindsey Graham were probably the last on their list. If I met with them, I don't remember it. I can't imagine how he's going to talk to me because I believe this country is run by a dictator and killer, so I don't think he's coming to office. But that Jeff met with him at the Cleveland Convention. Ambassadors of other countries attend both parties' convention. The fact that Jeff met with him in his office, just look at it this way. If you had something to hide, would you invite the guy to come to your office? I believe Jeff Sessions. I believe that in his own mind he was being truthful. That the contact he had with the Russian ambassador was a senator session, not as a campaign operative. But I also agree strongly with those who suggest that Jeff, because of his campaign relationship with the Trump campaign, should not be advising the FBI if there is an investigation.
How can Jeff Sessions separate the two? He was the first senator to endorse Donald Trump. He is as close, if not closer than anyone else on the cabinet to Donald Trump. At the time of this, he was actively a Trump surrogate. He was also on the Armed Services Committee, but he was actively a Trump surrogate, and he was meeting with a man known around Washington as a top Russian spy recruiter. Well, I mean, these are true things, aren't they, Senator?
Well, I don't know if he's a top Russian spy. That'd be news to me.
Senior intelligence sources tell us that he is, and they met that. I'm not suggesting anything like that, but that is how he's known in Washington, and that they met on that day under those circumstances. Is that something that, I don't know, maybe the former Attorney General of Alabama and a lawyer who understands under oath matters, the sort of thing he would be prepped for and ready for in a setting like that, Senator?
Well, this is not just the former Attorney General of Alabama. This is a guy I've known for 20 years. Number one, he met with the Russian ambassador in his office. So that suggests to me that he had nothing to hide. I believe Jeff when he said he talked to the Russian ambassador twice, but not about campaign-related activity. I believe Jeff. You don't have to believe him, but I do. But he needs to come forward and explain the conversation, because for the good of the country, he needs to tell us exactly what they talked about to the best of his memory, but also for the good of the country, and he's going to speak here soon. Hope Jeff will say that I'm going to step aside if there is an investigation of the Trump campaign by the FBI regarding Russia. I will step aside, not advise or not dispose.
Have you talked with him at all? I know you guys are good friends and have been for a long time. The former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn spoke with the same Russian ambassador on the same day the Obama administration placed sanctions on Russia for its election interference, and then lied to the Vice President Pence about that meeting and was forced to resign. Now we know Senator Sessions spoke with him. I don't have any way to know what he spoke about. I don't even know if it's germane to the conversation at the moment. He said under oath he didn't speak, but he did speak. Are you concerned about all of these different people within Team Trump having all of these connections to Vladimir Putin, and maybe for the first time in American political history, we have a strong Republican who's very high placed saying all of these nice things about Putin and nothing bad?
You know, here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about what Russia did in our election. I don't think they changed the outcome. I want your viewers to know that my investigation of Russian activities in the 2016 election has nothing to do with the legitimacy of the outcome, that Donald Trump won the election. But I do believe, without any doubt, the Russians interfered in our election. They hacked into the DNC and Podesta's emails, and they're the ones that got this to WikiLeaks. They're doing this all over the world. They're going to do it in France and Germany. And I want to hit them hard with additional sanctions for interfering in our election. I wish the President Trump, who did a great job 2 days ago, would say to the nation as a whole, we're going to punish Russia, even though it was the other party that got hurt the most. We can't have a foreign government interfering in our elections. I wish he would say that. But there's no doubt in my mind that Trump won fairly. There's no doubt in my mind that the Russians interfered in our election. And I want to hit them, and I want to hit them hard.
Senator Graham, it's great to see you. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Again, Senator Sessions to hold conference. We got word about 10 minutes ago. That news conference is now scheduled for exactly 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. So 17 minutes from now, we'll have live coverage right here on Fox News Channel. Ahead, rare interviews with jailed Islamic State terrorists who have made it their mission to kill Westerners. Fox News takes you inside Iraq. That's next.
Hi, I'm Ty Young. What if there was an investment strategy where your money was completely protected against market losses? You go up with the stock market. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. Literally go up with your money, never down, forwards and never backwards. What if that investment strategy actually existed? Good news, it does. Get your investor's kit and I'll personally explain on the DVD how it works. You decide who's right for you.
Get your investor's kit. Call 800-557-7379 or type When you have digestive sensitivities, life can feel like a never-ending search for food that won't cause bloating, gas, or inner turmoil. Try ProNourish, a delicious nutritional drink that makes a great mini meal or snack that has protein and fiber. And ProNourish has no gluten or high fructose corn syrup, and is low in FODMAP ingredients that can trigger digestive sensitivities. The search is over. ProNourish, nutrition you can feel good about. Southern Company.
Jenny Craig works.
Call now and lose 17 pounds for $17. Jenny Craig provides a personal consultant, delicious food, and real results. Call now and you'll also get $60 in free food. Hurry, this offer is out.
Taking the antihistamine DNA test is really quite simple. It comes in the mail, you pull out the tube and you spit in it, which is something Southern girls are taught you're not supposed to do. You seal it and you send it back, and then you wait for your results. It's that simple.
Would you like to own an asset that has the potential for a 60% increase or more? Well, that investment is silver, and you can buy it at today's low price. If silver just returns to half of its all-time high, it would be a 60% increase. And if silver returns to its recent all-time high, it would be a 200% increase. Compare this silver investment to owning volatile stocks and low-yield bonds. Don't miss your chance to own silver before it rises in price. Call Lear Capital to receive the complete guide to silver investing free. The guide shows why experts say silver is undervalued, why silver could rise 60% or more, and how silver can help protect your IRA if another crisis strikes. Get your free silver guide and precious metals IRA investor kit so you can help protect and grow your portfolio in 2017. Call 1-800-889-8000. 1-800-889-8000. Call now.
A Fox News correspondent going face-to-face with Islamic State fighters in an Iraqi jail. And one jihadist opening up about making bombs and carrying out an attack. Benjamin Hall in the news. He's in our London newsroom this evening. Benjamin?
Yeah, hi, Chef. Look, it is so rare to get information from inside ISIS, to get informants inside that terror group. But the gold mine of intelligence at this facility really is second to none. And it is a facility and a program which was designed by U.S. trainers. Have a look. Behind each one of these doors is an ISIS prison, guilty of committing crimes which have left hundreds of people dead. Some show remorse, others feel no guilt at all. Abu Omar, 25, started as a guard at a checkpoint in Mosul, arresting women who weren't veiled, but quickly moved up the ranks to making and setting bombs. He calmly told us about one of his many deadly attacks.
Minister Larissa picked up the car with the bomb and parked it near a busy cafe, close to some traffic police. I then got out, walked away, called a number on my phone and blew it up.
Now, he told us that attack killed upwards of 100 people, including 30 women and children. We learned other interesting things, including one prisoner who said that he had spent time with American fighters in ISIS, 2 or 3 of them, who he said were part of a cell of foreigners in charge of threats against the West. Now, we've always known that there are foreigners there and that they want to lash out, but hearing that from him was absolutely groundbreaking. And another interesting thing is this move. What we were seeing there is that ISIS feel that it is moving on the battlefield, and it's morphing into an insurgency. A lot of the people we spoke to were head of ISIS cells inside Baghdad, and so they were looking ahead to the times after Mosul was lost, for example, and that is where they will see themselves coming back, re-emerging. So very interesting look at how ISIS sees itself moving forward, as well as some of the tactics they've used. And of course, to stop those attacks happening in places like Baghdad, they said the sectarianism needs to stop. And so again, this larger picture, which is Iran meddling in the affairs of Iraq and creating all these problems. So, you know, an incredible opportunity to speak to people in this camp. And again, just a reminder of the threat that America and the West are facing at the moment. Chet?
Ben, what was it like being in there?
Well, look, I've met a lot of families who are at the receiving end of their brutality, people who have been tortured, had their women raped by them. So being in there and looking face to face, eye to eye with some of these people is very hard. It makes you very angry. They just pass it off as if they were following orders. They seem to have a complete disconnect to the atrocities they were committing, and it just begs the question, who are they following, who are they listening to? But they said very much that they were warriors of Islam. They thought this was a global war. They hoped the caliphate would spread across the globe. So, the mindset there is the one that we've heard of, and it's as strong as ever.
Ben Hall, tonight from London. Extraordinary. Ben, thank you so much. Attorney General Sessions to hold his news conference live on Fox News Channel in 10 minutes. We'll have live coverage. Next here, though, an immigrant in Mississippi told reporters she was going into hiding because she was afraid, even though she came to the United States when she was 7 years old, that she might be deported. Yesterday, she broke her silence, held a news conference, explained her predicament and the predicament of so many others, with Catholic Charities at her side. Minutes later, immigration agents arrested her. Now she's off to a prison. And then, well, Jonathan Seri picks it up from there next.
Load up on the latest styles right now. We'll show you how at Men's Wardrobe with buy one, get one free throughout the store. Plus, stock up and save with 40% off all clearance. Now at Men's Warehouse.
If you've been turned down for a mortgage because of credit or tax return issues, Cash Call Mortgage now has credit and income-solving mortgages with no closing costs. Just call 855-890-CASH and we'll work with you to find a solution to your mortgage issues.
Not while your spokesperson. Attention, if you had abdominal hernia